All good?
Mhm.
All right, and we will call to order tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a couple agenda adjustments tonight. We're going to move old business E, the escalator, down to the bottom of new business so that we can have our treasury update before we discuss that. And then also to the end of new business, we have evaluation dates for employee evaluations. Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. Into approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from our regular meeting on August 7th.
There needs to be a correction on B, 5
Oh, yeah. Brian and Carol went to look at the trucks.
What did I write? I'm sorry. Michelle.
Brian. Make a motion to approve with that correction.
I have a motion and a second to go ahead with the one correction. All those in favor? Opposed? And abstain?
They're at least for you, Sean.
Yeah, I still think it.
All right. On to old business, the transfer station. I'll turn this over to.
Jim called again last week indicating that there was still liquid materials coming from the truck and, asked what we should do about it. And I think we ended up emailing DEP and seeing what their input was. And we did find out that it is okay for us to, for the transfer station to refuse problematic loads. And, we have requirements as a municipality to take in solid waste, but not liquid waste. And there could be efforts to bulk up the liquid so it's more solid. Or, like I said, we do have the option of refusing to take problematic loads as well. So this seems to be an ongoing problem.
You wanna tell us what you had heard from DEP?
Basically exactly what Christine read. It's in the email that I put in there. Vera Mayhew said she spoke to the facility. And that they were directed to reduce the amount of waste, liquid in the food waste. They said it was food waste. And they're hopefully saying that the kitchen procedures could be modified. So I guess my thoughts are Jim needs some direction on what to do there.
And how comfortable would Jim be, like, having to refuse a load if necessary, you know? I don't know. He would definitely need our support.
Yes.
Yes.
I think once, he's not gonna know whether to choose the load until it's started
Too late.
to compact.
Yeah.
Right.
Me talking to Kathy. she doesn't have enough to contract, Mark.
Mhm.
I think once we negotiate with Archie, that's when we need to address this whole situation, maybe we need to get just a 10-yard dumpster up there for him off the side for mental health. That doesn't get compacted, because we've got a lot of complaints about people waiting for them. You know, there's several options there that we need to discuss. To help Jim out, and that's that shouldn't be walking that stuff. And also another option is have Archie put a gasket on that. I looked at it sadly, that you can put a gasket on that thing, but you're not solving the problem.
Right. And more than likely, when they come to pick it up, the gasket will hold it until they come to pick it up. And then-
Wow. They're like loading dock gaskets, but they are.
Yeah.
To solve the whole problem of people waiting in line,
Mhm.
if we're gonna renegotiate a contract with Archie, we need to discuss a whole different dumpster up there.
So I believe we should be able to get the updated signed copy, because we just did it about a year and a half ago.
He looked up the old one, I forget what she called me, but.
No, I say we just
Yeah,
just redone it.
2 or 3 years ago now.
Right, but I believe they're 5-year. I think they were 5 years before.
Yeah,
Okay. No, anyway, we
At
can.
any point, I think we should have went down, and tried negotiating a contract with him,
Mhm.
With Archie's
with Archie.
to alleviate the liquid waste problem.
Yeah, you put a 10-yard dumpster up there, off and back of the recycle container. That mental health uses for themselves, it's gonna be the same amount of trash. So when you charge the same tipping fee, dumpster fee. Kathy did the math the other day, how much it cost us, I forget what it was.
I'm hesitant to spend town funds to designate a dumpster for one person in the town or one entity in the town.
This is where you renegotiate with Archie, if Archie wants to keep his contract with the town. It's gonna cost him minimal to set a dumpster up there. That's how you renegotiate a contract. Hey, it's not gonna hurt, Christine, that's where you start.
Hmm.
Because you can't tell them they can't come use the town facility, they pay taxes just like everybody else.
You misunderstand, we only have to accept solid waste, not liquid waste.
No? Do what you need to do. Because once that gets out, you got 3 other businesses in town that will start using up there, it's gonna increase the cost in the town.
Well, the problem will be if we do an individual dumpster for one facility. And then the next one comes in, what are we gonna end up with, 15 different 10-yard dumpsters up there for all these different
I
people?
don't think we know that until we try it, maybe you could split the cost with them.
well, we have a representative from Pinnacle here, so why don't we hear from them?
I was
And
waiting.
then we can hash out all
Yeah,
of this.
no, I was finishing our conversation, then I was gonna ask Ken.
Yeah.
to speak.
Exactly.
Anything else from us?
No, I mean, I'm just referring to that there's a state statute. That says that we have to provide solid waste disposal services. But we're not obligated to accept wastes that are not acceptable. So, and that liquid waste is listed as that, so. I don't know.
Okay. Ken, you wanna, anything you wanna add?
Sure. Yeah, so, Chair and board members, I've spoken to the same people you probably have, Eric Hamlin from the DEP. And in discussions with him, first of all, I've been in healthcare for 54 years in spite of my youthful appearance. And, I've never run into this problem before. But I think it might be because you're using a compactor, but that's okay, if that's what you need to use, that's what you need to use. We want to be good citizens and we want to be able to be compliant with that. So in discussing the issue with Eric, he says the issue actually comes down to regulations around liquids being in a transfer station that are being compacted. The liquids can't come out and be on the ground because it draws bats and flies. And water parasites and stuff, so, he suggested we look at, reducing the amount of liquids. So, and basically the liquids are coming from our food service. So I met with our food service director, and we talked about various ways of reducing the amount of fluids. We have, may not be a very attractive term, but we have a pig, a thing called pig, that most restaurants have,
Mhm.
nursing homes have, hospitals have them. You put certain, we haven't been using the pig, I think, probably appropriately. There are a lot of things like vegetables and things like that, we could be putting down the pig, that would reduce the amount of fluids. So before we go to the expense, ask the town to go to the expense, or us go to the expense, or anybody else going to the expense of talking about a dumpster, I would suggest that we, first of all, try to reduce the amount of liquids. You know, and there may be other ways of dealing with it. For instance, you use a compactor, so you're squeezing these bags. Well, it's like squeezing a balloon. They're gonna blow up. And then if there's liquids in it, they're gonna fall out. So in addition to reducing the amount of liquids, I've also asked our food service person if we can perhaps look at, are there other containers, the types of bags? Maybe some of them vent. And if they vent and you squeeze them, the air is, it's the air is blowing out the bags. So if we can get rid of the air in the bags, if there's such a thing as a venting bag, I don't know this. But our efforts are going to be in complying with your methods and reducing the amount of liquids so we can resolve the problem before anybody goes to additional expense.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing, would it be possible for your maintenance crews to pick a time, say either like right off first thing in the morning or later on in the afternoon? Kind of as a scheduled time, that way we could let people in town know, hey, between, I don't know, 7 and 7:30 on this day is the day that the bill will usually be, Pinnacle will usually be coming, so that way we can help alleviate.
Yeah, if you want to schedule us coming at a certain time, we certainly can accommodate that as well.
Okay. Just trying to think of a way to offset and try to keep
I-
it so we don't have
I-
lines and stuff.
The traffic at this particular time is a problem, but if it is, we can accommodate that too.
Okay,
Jim opens at 7, right?
I say we can check with Jim and see when his busiest time would be and see if we can avoid that.
Yeah.
That time period.
Does that sound reasonable to you? We check with our transfer station
Yeah, yeah.
attendant and then,
Yeah, well, and he can give me a call. or,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
My director of maintenance and whatever you want. About some cards for you.
Okay.
Does everything from this pig go into the sewer?
What's that?
Does everything from this pig go into the sewer?
Yeah.
It's basically a grind.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But some of them have.
thank you very much.
Some of them have grease traps attached to them also,
Mhm.
so we don't plug up the
Right.
sewer lines.
Yep.
Cause you've still got the basket
Thank you.
that has to be cleaned out periodically too, so.
Thank you.
Those fit right into, those.
Oh,
Well, they fit right in there really well.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be in it.
Aw.
I'm like, oh. All right, well, thank you, Ken. We'll check in with Jim and see what we can figure out on our end and get back to and keep working back and forth.
Together and have a meeting about what we're gonna do.
Yep.
I'm happy to do it.
Sounds great.
Thank you for your responsiveness. It's
Yes.
much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Yes,
you.
thank you.
All right.
Hopefully that makes a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, yep,
Mhm.
that'd be great.
Or, yeah, like what times are busy,
Yeah, what times
you
to
know,
avoid and then
what times are slower.
and maybe we can get them worked into dropping off at the slower times and hopefully that will.
Now, I
Thank
meant
you,
to ask
Kristen.
him, who is there, do we know from Jim if they go twice, both days, the Wednesday and the Saturday, or just one? I'm sure they go
It
both
used to be
days.
just Wednesday.
They just go Wednesday morning.
Okay,
I'd say that's what it used to be, yeah.
it's still, it's still Wednesday morning.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Town cleanup dates.
Aaron reached out to Archie's, and the information we had this right after the last meeting, not the last meeting, but the meeting before. That either date ranges work for them. The container will be somewhere between $140 and $310, depending on what size you choose. So that's about the same as it's always been. That'll be plus the tipping fee of $104 per ton, plus the full fuel charge and a $30 weekly rental fee. Included on the next page of your books or whatever, is a quote from BBS.
PDF.
Okay, yep. But it's, so that's one option. Archie says if we want to do tires, the container is the same rate, but the tipping fees go to $165 per ton, plus the fuel charge and the rental.
Said 165.
Yes.
Okay.
The other quote in there offers different opportunities, whether, depending on how they're picking them up.
You could have Archie do it then.
Yeah, because this is not.
How much is the container rent? How much is?
30.
The rental is $30 a week.
how much is-
And then the container will be, depending on the size, anywhere from 140 to 310, depending on the size you choose.
If the tires would have to be the bigger one.
You said 130 through 410,
Last time it was a big one.
140 to 310.
140 to 310.
Yeah, last time it was a big one.
From Arches,
Yes.
why is it different prices per ton?
No, that's the,
I'm
Cost
talking
of
tires,
container.
I'm talking, how much are tires?
of the tipping on the tires.
The tipping on the tires would be $165 plus the fuel surcharge and the rental fee.
Okay, so in rental fee on containers, $30.
Mhm.
So that
30 a
takes-
week.
That takes us up to 195.
No, it's
No.
310 for the dumpster,
It would actually be 60 because it was 2 weeks.
and it's 310 for the dumpster.
Right.
So they're getting you twice, you're
Wait a
paying
minute.
to rent the dumpster, and then you're paying a rental fee for the week,
Yeah.
is what that boils down to.
Wait, we're talking tires.
Right, but it's still the same, these are still the same, except the tipping fee on the tires is more expensive than
Is that
tipping
right?
on the
Right.
regular.
The reason they're saying
Right.
310 is because they opt for a bigger dumpster for tires. So it's a more expensive dumpster.
So how is Arches cheaper? If you're paying 200 per ton to have BDS come pick them up when you throw them on the ground.
I didn't say they were cheaper, I'm sorry.
No, no, I'm not
Oh,
saying,
okay.
I'm just trying to compare prices here.
Because they're doing a per tire fee.
No.
Not if you go
not if you're
above.
10-ton minimum.
Well, okay,
How big is the dumpster? The larger the 2 dumpsters from Archie's.
That information I did not.
oh,
didn't
those
say.
are,
How come we don't have a printout from Archie like we do from BDS?
This was the information that he gave us over the phone.
Well, we still have a print out.
Let me see if Archie says what size dumpsters they have.
isn't that like a 10-yard? You put one.
That's why I was asking if I don't know.
I'm gonna say that, but I don't know, I'm ready.
How much printing I do up there?
Is it, That's
If you get one that's 6 feet tall for welding.
Which the larger one is.
yeah,
So,
Is that-
yeah, the one we had last time
it
for
was,
tires.
yeah, it was
probably
the
at least-
walk-in one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be 6 feet because I don't have AC out of it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
BDS is-
Give us
Charging per tire
50 cases.
in one section.
Should
Right?
be
Isn't
there.
that right, Christine?
The bottom line of the second paragraph says if you have a longer larger volume, then it would be 200 per ton, you have a 10-ton minimum, so it'd be $2,000 minimum.
Thank you.
How much do you have budgeted for this cleanup?
You don't get a town report.
No, I get it. Can you give us a second?
They have 30-yard roll-offs, 20-yard roll-offs, and 15-yard roll-offs.
We have 7,500 budgeted. And then anything extra that we've had in the past comes out of the solid waste reserve fund,
Which is the middle.
which is our metal pile, basically. And that usually gets picked up once and sometimes twice a year.
I've been 2 or 3 times, lately, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just got picked up.
Yeah.
How much you get from that?
Don't know yet.
I haven't looked it up yet.
Have we gotten a check for that yet?
From Grimmel's?
Yes.
Yes. I would have to pull I can pull the number and find out what we put in.
Yes, please.
You wanna grab it?
Well, we know we have,
Grandma.
well, we'll find out shortly, but we have 10,600 in the solid waste reserve at the moment. Or as of 6:30,
And then we put it in.
according to these,
So
but,
your budget tells you what you're gonna
right.
spend on it. So-
Yep. Well, we usually do the cleanup, and then what we do, depending on, we go through the first week. And if we run out of dumpsters like we did 2 times ago, then we approve extra money out of the solid waste reserve to continue enough to get us through the 2 weeks.
How many dumpsters do we don't use?
It varies. We can use anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7.
There was 1 year we had. There was 1 year we added a week on.
That was the year right after COVID. That was the
Yep,
first
it
one we
was.
did after COVID.
It was, I thought it was the first year of COVID, but either way,
Remember?
and then. It's usually. A lot of times they have to come down midway through the day and replace the dumpster with a new one. So. It's a bit. Crazy how many people wait for cleanup.
Every town does the same
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes if you average 6 dumpsters, you don't know how much it costs for this cleanup.
Yes.
If you average 1 tire dumpster or 3 tire dumpsters.
Yeah, cause we
What-
only do those every once in a while.
What we did the last time was when the first tire dumpster was full, there were no more tires
Yeah,
left.
and we limited it to 4,
I can't remember.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
4.
there was a limit on it, but once the first tire dumpster got full, we said no more.
I believe it was 4 tires per
Yeah.
person.
And if I remember correctly, it
Or
was
per
full the
household.
first day. Wasn't it?
I think you're right, it was 4 per household, what?
And wasn't it full the first day?
Yes.
Yeah, I
it
was saying that one was
insane.
the first thing and it was shut off after that. It was no more tires. Just because of the extreme cost of the tires.
What was BDS's price on tires?
They're charging, they have a per tire minimum, a per tire fee, so it's $4 for tires under 19 inches, that's per tire. $20 per big truck or tractor tire, $50 per tractor tire. And $100 per loader tire. No tires on rims, that are 15 inches and under. And then they have a larger volume price that is $200 per ton with a 10-ton minimum charge, which would mean we would have to put $2,000 just for that minimum.
I could fill that up, oh, easily.
Truthfully, that's the way to do it, Carol. I mean, if you had a tire pile up and you had them come pick it up once a year, $2,000 is a good deal.
But the problem is by law, we're not allowed to keep the tire pile up there. Nope.
So,
Yeah, that's been our problem. That's why we don't do it.
That's why they're outside the fence.
Yeah, no, because we've talked about in the past of trying to do something different and that's the issue. We're not allowed to keep them up there.
Why?
I don't remember.
Very good.
We were just told no.
Because
DEP told us no, is what it amounts to.
Yeah,
Why don't you change that procedure, find out why,
I never heard, I didn't realize you could, so that's a.
and charge people to drop tires off. But like this, Christine, you just said it's $2,000 for 10 tons of tire. So you don't have the budget to do it.
So I'm happy to say no tires.
But what's it gonna figure out? You're gonna be right back to Arches. What's a dumpster gonna cost you from
Mhm.
Arches? You guys just said $300 something
For the larger ones, yes. Mhm.
plus.
Plus $30 a week
Yeah.
rental fee, plus 160, What's the regular ton, not tires, but what's the regular?
104.
104 a ton.
Well, it's stupid now.
Mhm.
I have one, but yeah.
But it doesn't matter where you get it from, they're all the same.
I know, but it's just, I'm not sure why we're paying $30 of rental fee when we're already paying 310 for a dumpster. It doesn't make sense to me. That sounds like a double dip.
So I believe we're trying to figure out the dates
Yes,
that were open, correct? What were our two, we had two options that we said at the last meeting.
September and October. but I don't know.
So September 11th, 14th, 18th, and 21st. Or October 9th, 12th, 16th, and 19th.
October.
Mhm.
Maybe I make a motion for the October dates.
Second,
And
Can you read them off again?
October 9th, 10th,
No,
16th,
no.
9th, 12th, 16th, and 19th?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a motion and a second for October 9, 12, 16, and 19. For the town cleanup dates. All those in favor? Oh.
hopefully won't get snowed.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Oh, you hush.
Yeah. Kathy, can you post that or have Aaron post it either way? And that get posted on the Facebook page and things so people can see that.
There should be a card going out by then too, right?
Yes, there will.
Yeah, we'll be cutting that one close though.
It'll be just before it.
Well, so bump up the.
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, even if we have to do it a week early. But
And I will call Archie's and schedule it.
Mhm.
And the other thing, if you can just make up something for a sign or two for Jim to put up to the transfer station. That way,
Are you doing tires or not?
No.
No. No tires.
my opinion is no, unless anybody else.
Let's. I have a thought. If we wait and see what Tricia comes back with for a number from Grimmel, I mean. I would rather pay $2,000 out of the metal pile. To have tires dumped in there than off the sides of the roads and in the corners of my fields, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, but now
So-
you're saying that we're only gonna get 20 tons of tires.
No,
Don't move on.
minimum.
Well, right,
Minimum
so it's
10 tons.
$2,000 minimum.
Right, I know. Yeah, but like I said, wait and see what she comes back with for numbers. We can revisit the tire thing after we get that. Cause if it's not,
Mhm. We have
substantially-
other meetings between now and then, so
Exactly.
we can do
Yeah.
more research and bring it back at the next meeting.
So
Because I,
given the dates that we have, we could get a total cost now without tires and a total cost with tires.
Bingo.
Yes.
And hopefully we can get something in writing from Archie's,
with a little more detail,
yes.
perfect. Okay. Website update. So I asked Aaron for a website update, I will pass around what I got, I didn't get a lot, We're currently embroiled in a name server changeover. Our current host, Network Solutions, is having a problem with their name servers, propagating DNS records and leaving us in a lurch connectivity wise. The issue was brought to WG Tech, who escalated the network issue to Network Solutions, who has yet to give us a solution. As of 4 p.m. today, WG Tech has asked to revert the change. Once the server change is completed and propagated, we'll be good to switch over to the new site.
Am I the only one that feels like we're getting excuses on this?
So
stupid
I'm
website?
going to reach out and talk directly with Aaron on Monday or Tuesday, because I'm not in Monday. I will talk to him Tuesday and find out exactly where we're at and what's going on.
Well, because I thought the server issues were rectified.
Exactly.
I thought that was taken care of a couple weeks ago. So. I will,
Do we
like I
go
say,
to, do we talk to Aaron or we call WG check and find out?
start with Aaron, because she's the contact person in it.
Okay.
But, like I say, I'm out Monday, but I'm happy to talk to him on Tuesday and see where things are at, or if I get time tonight, I can send him an email and request for more detail.
Yeah, cause. We've been paying for this thing for a very long time. and
I agree.
Nothing additional for it.
I agree. And that's why I asked for it to be on the agenda tonight, because I wanted an update on where we were at.
unacceptable at this point.
I mean, we designed this thing like
Yes.
a couple
Over a
of
year.
years ago.
Yes,
Over a year, yeah. About a
and we
year.
signed the
Yeah,
contract.
we're
Yeah.
pushing on 2 years.
Yeah.
This is,
Yep.
that's my opinion.
Okay. We'll continue that talk on Tuesday. I'll keep everybody informed about that. So, our next agenda item, take a look here. Our highway truck, new highway truck was delivered on Friday. Arundel was nice enough to bring it up to us, so it kept us from having to drive down and pick it up. Before they, before they brought it up, they installed both the, plow wiring and the sander wiring, so the truck is ready to roll on that side of things. The total price that we had approved was 84 and change. Adding in the sander and the plow push plates and the truck side wiring for the plow. Overall total on the truck was 87,332. Excuse me, 88,322. Before our $1,000 down payment. So that's taken care of. Truck insurance is all taken care of. So the truck is ready to roll. We still have to do the lettering, the strobe lights and the radio.
Oh, the lights out.
Yep. So, but we're making progress.
Plow's all set up, Brian?
What's that?
Plow's all set up?
The wiring is all done for it and the push plates are on, so all we have to do is hook it up and go from there. So that stuff's all set and good. I think we ended up with a pretty good deal. And it seems like it's shall be a good quality rig for us for a while, hopefully. So, but that's all I have for that. I just want to give you guys an update so everybody knew.
Talk was David Lee, what day do we see him? Robin? Tuesday, maybe? They were happy with its first 2 days of use, so.
Good. I hope so. There's no reason not to be happy with it, quite frankly.
Brand new truck, like
Yeah.
brand
It still
new.
smells brand new, it's nice.
Yeah.
No, we did,
When has the highway department had a brand new truck?
2017.
Oh, so
a while ago.
Well, actually, that year and then the next year we bought the Western Star, so they've had two, but yeah. The one thing Andy and I did talk about, is getting some seat covers for it. The one thing that we weren't overly impressed it is cloth seats instead of vinyl or leather like the last one, so.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing he and I did talk about doing just to keep it from tearing and also getting grease or oil on it, just to kind of help longevity of it was to get some decent quality seat covers put on. That way we try to help make it last as long as we can. I did like to see the frame and everything was painted good, so we looked at that when the body was up to see if we needed to do anything with like the fluid film or anything, but it looked like it had a pretty good coat of paint on it. That was good for at least to start with anyways. So
I think that Rick Ball that drove it too.
okay,
Ready.
okay. Okay.
Chris is still looking, but we can get that number for you. Okay, I put this looking at every safe place.
Cause like I told Andy, I think the last time, I'd have to look back, but I think we ordered the strobe direct from Whalen and then, Perry Virgin put them in, I believe, but, I think, but he was gonna look around, see what he could find and go from there. New business, well, we'll
She's looking
we'll skip
for the
number one,
truck.
cause
Yeah.
Trish is working on a couple things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
B,
I could get
what,
stuff for. Sorry, see.
oh, you're getting stuff for the next, okay, next agenda item. B, water district plowing contract, I asked Kathy to go ahead and update that, because it's been a few years since they've updated it, so we just asked her if she'd go in and pull the updated
So the old one that I found that you had given me to update said $500. Well, while I was cleaning yesterday, I found a letter dated for 2021 that said $1,000. So
Okay.
I have two different contracts depending on what price there is.
I see a letter.
Want to give the two contracts?
You remember that
What?
it had been increased,
I don't know what we're talking about.
the water district plowing had been increased from 500 to 1,000,
I
apparently.
do not remember that.
Didn't even-
I was not aware of that at all.
That's why I was
Are
asking.
you aware of that?
No motion.
That's the only letter I've ever seen. Kat and I talked about that today. I've never
Yeah.
seen a contract.
Like I say, as far as I know, it had always been the 500, that's
Yeah,
from way back when we started it.
Yeah.
That's-
But I think Carol had sent, is that Carol? sent?
Yes.
The letter does, yeah.
That's the only thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a contract. I told Carol
Hmm.
today. I'd have to big, obviously, big contract back to the trustees. so.
Yep, yeah, because the one that, the prior one for 500 that we have in the book was signed by all the trustees before, and,
Each other.
um,
Don't recall ever voting that over thousand, but that doesn't mean it didn't
I
happen.
may
but-
have, because I think I was on the board at that time, so I might have. But. Um. I guess I would make a motion to go ahead with the $500 plowing contract.
Yeah, I don't remember the dog, but that doesn't make any sense.
Increased cost would be my guess, but. Keeping it plowed up for emergency services, so, and to get to the water plant, so. It's gonna cost us more money if we can't get to it, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wasn't on the board at that time, so.
Why don't you remember?
Yeah. I'll second your motion.
I had a motion and a second for, passing on to the water district the $500 contract. For the 24-25 year. For plowing for the, water district road.
Pending their approval.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, well, passing it on for their approval, yeah. All those in favor? Opposed and abstain. Alright, yeah, you can just fill that out and then. Leave my mind. Yep.
So it doesn't get confused.
Perfect, yeah, you can just,
Oh, no, this is the 500.
I was gonna say.
yeah, I
probably
put
want
that
Sean to
500
have-
on the top.
Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah, Sean needs to take. One, actually, Sean needs to take them both. Do the board members want to sign that one now and
Yeah,
then?
it's in front of us, we might as well sign it and then. Rather than having you come back and have to sign it again. Yeah, right. Sorry. I left it open.
Okay.
Alrighty. Book two conversation or discussion.
So you handling any of it, or am I doing it all?
I was gonna let you do it. Since
Alrighty.
You're the one that started the book preservation
Yes.
with NEDCC.
So books 1 and 3 have already been conserved by NEDCC in Massachusetts Northeast Document Conservation Center, there we go. And book 2 has been down there for about 2 years. We sent 2 and 3 at the same time. We got the quotes to do both of them. Book 3 was in worse shape than book 2, so we elected to do that one first. And book 2 has stayed down there. They are willing to honor the quote that they gave us a year ago. Yeah, no kidding. So in order to conserve book 2 and to have it digitized is going to be, let me do a quick math here. Just about 12,000. That they they clean the pages, they wash them, they rebind the book. They remove any, like, book 3 had a dead fly in it, so, you know, we get to keep the dead fly if we'd like. And then they send us a digitized copy of the book as well. So we should, we believe, have money in the carryover from office for general government, Brian?
I'm hoping they can say,
We started doing this for the bicentennial with book 1.
Carol, what year does book 2 consist of? Do you have an idea?
I
Stop
do
and start?
not. It's been gone for 2 years, I don't remember. Cause book 1 was 1821 to about 18, I wanna say 65.
Do you know what book 3 is?
I'm getting there.
We'll figure it out.
I'm trying. I wanna say book 2 is like 60s to maybe 80s. Am I right on that?
1866 to 1880,
Somewhere in that,
something.
yeah. And it may be that book 1 wasn't quite that long too, so it's mid to late 18s.
so the last printout I have is, it looks like we had roughly 16,000 left in carryover in general government, but I would want Tricia to verify that before we vote to move forward with it. But I do think it's something that I would like to try to continue with.
Because we have some that there's no, I mean,
Right,
there's just no salvage.
The one that you had done and you received back, you're happy with?
Yes, very, yeah. The 2 that we've had done are currently in the safety deposit box at the bank, just so that they're someplace safe.
and as soon as our website is up and running, the digital copy will be posted to the website. so
They
everybody
are-
can view
they're
it.
currently
That
on,
was the reason, that was the reason behind getting it on thumb drive, was that way it could, the full copy of it could be posted and available for anybody. to
They're
view.
on digital main now,
Right,
both of
Yeah.
them are, so,
yeah, understand.
Yeah. so
Yeah.
it's, if we don't preserve them, they're gonna be gone, I mean, simply put.
Mhm.
Well, and even the preserved books, I wouldn't want, I would prefer to give people a digital copy
Oh, yeah,
before having the
exactly.
Oh,
preserved
yeah,
ones
yeah.
to look through and
For sure.
just keep them longer and try to.
And I know it says fire safe or however, but it's amazing reading.
It's a pretty interesting reading in the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
What I could make out.
He's lousy at deciphering the old writing.
I am, that I am.
Mhm.
Very lucky you didn't find that one.
Yeah, that was a
That was an awesome day.
lucky last minute find.
Mm.
But if we do have the carryover, like Brian said, I think it's a worthwhile expenditure.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would be worth having Tricia. If you wanna see if Tricia can go through, and I'm happy to ask her to, just to see if she can go through and. Double check, see where we were at last year with general government, and see
Okay.
if there's still.
Yeah.
And if there is, then bring it back to our next meeting so we can.
Yeah.
And ask any DCC
I was
if
gonna
they
say,
would hold
we'll
it
just-
for the next meeting, just tell them we're looking into it and.
Yeah,
we'll try to get them an answer after our next meeting, that way.
I know, they've only played this game how many times?
Right, that's, I mean, if they'll at least hold it until then, and
Yeah.
then if we can,
Mhm.
if we can, great, and if not, we'll have to
Yeah.
get it back, get it locked back up again, and go from there.
We want to hold that until
Yeah,
Trisha can
we
come
will
back.
table that until.
Here she is.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is, a burning girl.
All right, we're doing that, I will go on to planning board printing.
So and Diane, I see that you're here too. I had asked that this be put on the agenda for us to have a larger discussion after the last planning board meeting. There was an issue with printing, planning board printing from the office printer versus that printer, where that printer is not great for a large quantity of printing. And they're in the process of redoing all of their ordinances. Oh, and Robin's here too, so I'm gonna go back from the both, the both of you. So I guess trying to figure out an effective way. I know you guys are getting all of your books updated too with all of the ordinances. And with the website, when it's up and running, all of the ordinances will be available there digitally for everybody. So, I don't know, I wanted this to be a larger discussion so that we can work something out in the meantime.
I think the current planning board members need to bring their books. Because once I got handed the other night, I already had signed copies of my book. So that would save us on printing if we would pay a little closer attention.
See exactly what you do need before we go copying multiple.
There's no sense to keep copying just because we got a new notebook.
Yep.
You know, there's not.
And I agree, I think they need to be, the copy should be done on the office copier, because it's a lot cheaper to run copies on than that one is. We'll spend a lot more money and time, frustration, and ink with trying to do it on that little on the little printer than we will running it through the copier that's built for multi-copies and.
I mean, I know it's a
Fine.
budget line issue, and I think that it's something easy that we can kind of divvy out
Very easy.
when it comes time for budgeting. But that copy is
No,
not great.
that's built for small amount of copies and print.
Yeah.
That's what it's built for. It's
So.
not built for redoing books.
Oh, go ahead, Diane.
So the intent started with just getting Brian Jordan as a new board member, an updated book. And that's where it started. And then other people were saying they were missing certain ones. So nobody was copying all the ordinances for every single board member. It was really looking to see who had what gaps. So that was the only intent.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's more effective that you guys use the office printer, and when it, comes down to budget, we can always figure that piece out.
Well, we already charge paper to the planning board, so we could also figure out what the ink cartridges are. I know there's a yield, so many copies per page. I mean, it's a pretty easy math experiment to figure out what the cost is. It takes about 3 seconds to do.
To me, it's easier just to cover the paper and call it good, because either way, at the end of the day, the amount of copies come out of the contract, which comes out of the town tax money that already pays for the copier. So to make it easier for budgeting and things, I think we're easier just to make the copies and then take the paper out of the planning board and call it good.
Sounds like a plan.
Like I say, it's all coming out of the same place eventually. It's coming in on the same bill, so.
I just want to everybody kind of make sure we're all on the same page about that.
And you brought up that our agenda needs to be posted at least on Monday or Tuesday before our meetings, just like yours are.
Yes, yeah, I did, right, I was gonna talk about that when I went into the committee reports, but yeah, I'll talk about that when I go into the committee reports. This was specifically about the printing.
Anything else on planning board printing?
No,
Perfect. Old fire truck. Chief, is that you?
yeah, I'm gonna give that to
Yeah.
Jason. Jason, I put you on the agenda.
We do help with it. The last one we didn't put a minimum price on, and I should have. This one, I talked with Jeremy Godding, who does our work. Asked him if he had a suggestion on a price, and he kind of laughed, knowing what the truck is and the issues that it has and has had, because it's not fit for fire sub issues.
Mhm.
He told me yesterday that he bought a very similar truck last year up in Levant, I believe, and he only paid like $1,500 for it. So I had sent an email to Kathy and Aaron. I wrote up just a quick thing, but I didn't know their emails weren't working, so. Whatever form or however you need to post it, I guess. I'll send it again to
Okay.
somebody, let me know if your emails work.
You can,
And just put it out to bid and get what we get out of it, I
Yeah.
guess.
We'll put the same language in, and we always do the right to refuse any and all bids, which means that way, if it's not something that's acceptable enough to you, then we would turn it down. And
You can send it to me on text and I can send it in.
Sarah, I can give you my other email too.
Oh,
I can do it
yeah,
that way.
either one, yeah.
How old is the truck, is it?
So 1989,
89?
we had a lot of electrical issues with it, the pump is not pumping to its full capacity,
Wow,
which is why we.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, if you can get the info to one of us, we'll get it posted and
Sorry,
go from there.
the seal coating and the striping.
I figured you'd probably do that, but not under the new fire truck. Fire truck.
well, Jason, I meant to put you like fire department.
So anyway, seal coating, then if you wanna talk about that, I got a price on. He did it 3 ways, seal coating the entire fire stations. And restriping the parking spaces. Which I didn't even talk about this tonight, but it was like 5,300 for that.
Told you last time.
To just do crack sealing and restriping was 2,300. Which I think is what we should do, because that needs to be dug up at some point when we can afford to do it and figure out what keeps pushing up. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And then he included, which I haven't talked to him again. I'm not sure what he was designating fire station and town office. Because we had talked initially, if we were doing total seal coating coming up to the grass right here, and just kind of straight across.
Mhm.
But whatever he was calling fire station and town office, seal coating, striping was like 8,300, I think. But, and I did tell him that we needed a price just to do your striping.
Yeah.
Around here.
Mhm.
He'll get back to me.
If. Could he include a handicap parking one on
I
this
told him
side?
there would be
Okay,
2 handicap.
Okay.
Because Aaron suggested one right out here.
yes,
And
yep,
then one out
Yep.
front, so.
thank you.
What company is that?
I can't remember if it's B and M or just BM seal coating, they're out of Rumford. He's a deputy chief with Rumford Fire, and then it's Mexico firefighter that they're in business together on the side. Mike Arsenal, yeah.
What's that?
They just get
I
that
missed
here
the one- I
facility,
missed
if
one of the
anybody has seen
pictures.
that.
5,300.
Totally seal coat the whole thing
project,
and restripe
2,300
everything.
for just cracking,
Okay.
filling and stripes. 8,300 if they did the office too.
Mhm.
And you're gonna go ahead with the crack sealing and stripes.
Yes, for over there, definitely.
Yeah.
It needs it.
All good.
You don't like grass going up through the parking lot? Thank you, Jason.
All right, sewer liens update.
All right. As of right now, Aaron had sent out 9 sewer liens. 8 of those are still outstanding. And that was in April, so we are coming up on when we can do another round of those. There's not a ton out there that need to be done, but there are a few. So those are up to date. And then if you are okay to move on to property tax liens. I sent out 157 30-day notices on the 2024 taxes. As of today, 50 of those have been paid in full.
The
We have,
107,
huh?
the 107 still haven't been.
150, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
there are 2 that were attempted to be paid and, they accidentally didn't sign their checks. So those are in the mail to be in, but, we also sent out 4. They're called 45 30-day notices. They're 30-day foreclosure notices on 4 properties. So in 30 days, we will have to make a decision on what we are doing there as far as foreclosed property.
And that was on 23 or 22? 22 taxes. Have you heard from any of those 4 people?
No. I'm going to guess that I do know that I just received back the 30-day notice on the 24 taxes on one of these properties. They no longer live at that property. So the taxes are still in their name.
Yeah.
But they don't live there, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
But do they still own it or did they sell it?
That was gonna be my question. Is the deed still in their name?
I'm gonna go back and check. I just found this out earlier today, so I need to go back and check that, but
Yeah.
I'm going to assume, I mean, Paul's not usually that
Don't
far behind.
assume.
Yeah, so,
We had a couple the last time that hadn't been updated, so
Okay.
it's possible
yeah,
that.
I'll check on that.
So don't we still have the over 65 to thing on foreclosures that you have to do?
Yes. that
So
is
do you know
still
of those 4, if there's any over age 65?
one, yes.
Okay.
The one that I know of, yes. But
Cause you have to treat that one differently then.
the one that we were talking about,
Yes,
that one's over 65.
there's a statute on that, okay.
Yep. Adds a lot more steps to the process.
Okay,
A lot.
so yeah, that's where we're at as far as liens, property taxes. We had a lot of business the first week after those went out, so. And we've explained fiscal year ad nauseam. So,
Put it in the crier again.
Yeah.
Only thing we can do is drill
we have some other business if you're going there or you.
Not quite yet.
Okay,
Evaluations, we need to finish up evaluations for the last year, so we can get our employees their yearly increases that we will talk about after their evaluations. Looking to see, usually we try to lump those into 2 nights, do a couple, 2 to 3 each night. Does anybody have an idea on a couple of dates sometime next couple, 3 weeks that we have a couple of days that we could? And I'm willing to do a couple nights, right after each other, or one night, skip a week and do the other group.
I'd rather do it and get it done.
So
I'm up to doing whatever we
next-
need to.
2 weeks are the first 2 weeks of school.
Correct.
When is open house?
The 5th, I believe.
Okay, so that.
Well, I shouldn't say that. The 5th is open house at the middle school. And I think, off the top of my head, I'm gonna guess the 12th, I think is when it is at the elementary. It should be our selectmen's meeting.
Okay, I'm out now.
Yep, I believe I would have to check, but
No, it usually does fall on selectmen's meeting.
When's your board meeting, Brian?
I don't have to be, I don't even know.
You know what, I think you are right, that it is the 12th. No, that
I'm pretty
might-
sure it's the 12th from
Looking at
what
my
I've seen.
calendar.
We do 16th and 17th? 16th, September, yeah. I'll be back in town by 5. Okay, on the 16th.
open house on September 12th.
Yeah.
From 5 to 6.
Okay, that day is out for me. On that open house.
Well, like I say, we can do one week and one the next, or we can do them 2 in a row.
You just don't know what night your board meeting is.
Or, well, I don't have to go. Unless I'm presenting, I don't have to be there now,
Okay.
because we're not.
And that was
Sure.
usually but you don't have to go, so I was gonna say that's usually Tuesdays.
Yeah, it would be it's either I'm pretty sure it's the 10th, but, because there's one on the 27th, so I'm pretty sure it's the 10th, but. I would have to look.
So if Christine can be back for 5 on the 16th, then just.
I can do the 16th,
What about you,
17th.
Sean?
I'm gonna be here from 11 to the 18th.
Okay.
I can't do the 17th in the evening. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm okay with doing different.
Like I say, we could try
23rd,
to,
24th?
we could try to knock one out the week of the 9th, maybe, either the 9th or the 10th.
Mhm.
This is the 9th Labor Day?
No,
No,
the
9th the
second.
week after.
Yeah, I can do the 9th. Yeah, I can do the 10th too.
Okay,
I can make both of those work too.
9th and 10th. Are we splitting them up?
5 or 6 or?
Let's. Either way is fine. Usually we try to keep them less than a half hour,
That's fine.
so preferably like 20 minutes. but-
5 then, does that work?
Either 5 or 5:30, yeah. I can do either, I don't.
Okay.
I can be on as early as you.
I could do that.
But I mean, I'm okay with.
Safety for me, I'm better either 5:30 or 6.
Okay, so
But-
we just
Let's
do
go
6
there.
then and.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
So they don't, I mean, we don't block out that much time for them.
That's what I mean.
Anybody want this on the calendar?
I'm putting in my calendar, evals and evals. But we said 9th
So
and
we've
10th,
got-
right? 6 o'clock both days.
2, 3,
Okay.
4, 6.
East Coast time.
3 each night.
Anyway. I'm writing them down so we don't.
So we don't forget anybody.
Yeah, I have 2 highways, sewer, transfer, and 2 office.
Yeah.
Did I miss anybody?
No, 6.
What, yeah, 2, 4, 6, so
Yeah.
3 and 3.
Highway 1 and 2 and sewer on the first one,
Sure,
and then do transfer and office on
Yep.
the second one.
sure.
All right, wait. So the first one is gonna be,
First one will be 6 o'clock.
6:30 and 7?
Did you wanna do
We can do them both.
the office Monday, because these guys have Tuesday afternoon on Friday.
Oh, no, they got turned
I
on.
don't know what to do.
It's,
Sure.
Guys could just.
well, but then, but they're only open until 4 on Monday too, so either way, it's gonna be after. When they were to close.
But we do have trainings up in September.
on those days,
I thought it was Wednesdays we were trading, so
Yes. You're doing us on the 10th.
looking at doing those on the 10th, yep.
I think I'm gone there. I think I'm off the 11th and 12th, so.
Well, this is just a draft, too, we
Right.
can. See, make sure everybody's available, and then if we have to, we can slide side to side.
So we have 6:37?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
so office, what are we doing on pictures, office? Oh, transfer.
Highway, sewer, transfer, office.
You put office
you
1 and
care
2.
Do you care which way I tell these 3 to come in?
It is
Instead of
completely
not
up to you,
my guys?
it doesn't matter to me, as long as it's all,
Okay, I'll give Dave the early slot.
like I say we just do it, and then we
Yeah.
get them done, and
Yeah.
go from there.
You're gonna be the office at 4?
Can't guarantee I could be out of work in there on time in the first 2 weeks of school, so.
Yeah, those are the first 2 weeks of school.
Yep. Perfect, that one's done.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yep. All right, so let's slide back up to the treasurer's update. Tricia,
Thank you for.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. I did pass out a couple reports there on the reserve accounts. I've been working with Ron and Kevin from RHR in order to get the reserve account numbers. They are unaudited,
Separate deal.
but they have gone through them with me. So I also put at the bottom the appropriated from town meeting. So you have a good idea of what is in the accounts for the fire department reserve.
No.
But
The appropriated for Parks and Trails doesn't go in the reserve.
okay. So
Right.
that's. It's out.
What's it say for?
The
No.
left,
The appropriated. is out.
Yeah,
I can talk to you about
out.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
one
funky.
is, it's, yeah, theirs is a Fund 3, so it rolls their regular budget account, whatever is left in their regular budget account in the year, when that year ends, that rolls into their reserve account.
Okay,
It's a,
okay,
it's a funky one.
all right, so that's good to know.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
we can chat on that one. Mhm.
No, that's fine. But.
I must say, I like the looks of these numbers better than the ones we saw a few weeks ago.
So what happened is Trio doesn't have the correct numbers. And the roll forward or the budgeting, whatever was there, we've got to have RHR come in and do their adjusting entries.
That was good.
But we do, we've got to have them in for that. They said it's multiple years. So until that is done, it's hard to have definite concrete numbers
Yeah.
because even the audits have been in draft mode for how many years? So we're hoping to get that done, sooner than later. I just got the Excel sheet that they agreed upon for the 6/30/24 bank reconciliation. I just got that Tuesday. So I can move forward with those.
Progress.
It is progress. September 9th, RHR is going to be here for the whole day. And they're going to be working on that, and they're going to be working on getting the Trio numbers correct as to what they feel they need to put in for those prior years with the audits. So, which is standard. Whenever a CPA works on something and there's an audit, they have adjusting entries. And those just, they need to get in there. So when we have that, then we can get more concrete numbers. As for this, except for Parks and Trails, this should be pretty good. But we do need to talk about that. What else? Going forward, after that, it should be a lot easier to give you a nice detailed accounting report for your meetings. Because then we can have the bank recs actually, because I don't know the outstanding checks from prior years until I had that Excel sheet. Now that I have that, because they do that outside of Trio, we can get back and forth better. Does that make sense? So
So there's no outstanding checks from prior years?
there are. And they need
So-
to be cleared out.
Exactly. So the bank reconciliation is accurate for 24?
They have not been done.
That was the problem, was bank recs were not done. So that's why, and that's part of the reason why our audits were not done.
Correct.
According to RHR, they requested the bank recs, and then that's where the hang up was, which is not 100% what the board was told the hang up was.
So we don't know what's in these bank accounts?
I can give you balances for what they say, but it's much better to wait for everything to get set with Trio, because there's some designated funds for different reserve accounts.
Yep.
And
These are, the reserves are okay though. Yeah,
yes,
but
reserves
Yep.
are okay.
I was just.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Just-
I understand that,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, we're heading in the right direction.
I wish it could be quicker. I'm sorry that it's not.
No, it's not your fault at all. I'm glad the town's hired a treasurer. That's a blessing.
Well, thank you.
It's nobody's fault here.
No,
I just ask questions, that's all,
yeah, it's,
and they need to be asked.
yes, yes.
It's
Now
nice
feel
to start.
free, feel free to ask,
Oh,
email me, contact me.
I'm just in the position when we sign off on this warrant for $100,000, I like to know what the balance is in the checkbook,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you know.
The good news is the checkbook balance is very healthy. It's
Yes,
just, it would be nice to have Trio show that same,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
number.
Are we supposed to have 3 months of operating budget?
yes,
Yes.
And we
minimum 3 months,
back,
yes.
Yeah.
Comfortable is at least 4.
Five.
Not 5 is great.
and we have well over that.
Yes,
Yes,
Thank
I will say it's nice to actually start getting some answers to questions. And seeing numbers that are more in line with what rough calculations we're showing, so that's been nice.
Trisha, I appreciate all the work that you've been putting into this, and now that we can have these numbers right in front of us, thank you so much.
you're welcome. And RHR, I'm not really sure what's going on for Ron, but he was out for over 3 weeks, which also slowed down the process. I don't know if it was a medical issue, kind of think about it.
Mhm.
Anyways, at least we're moving forward.
Please don't let them retard too.
Oh, no.
Not yet. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, hopefully when they're here on the 9th, I'll swing in at some point and try to chat with Ron on the rec department stuff, that way we can get that ironed out as well, and.
Well, maybe we can coordinate coming together to talk about that, so.
Yes.
I can make some
Yep.
time,
I was-
or if I know ahead of time when you'll be
Yeah,
able to,
I'll look
I'll
at
be
my
able to
calendar
clear
and
out
see.
some of my day.
Is
And if
Kevin
someone-
gonna be here?
What was that?
Kevin gonna be here on the 9th?
I think so. I doubt it's gonna be Ron, even though Ron's saying, oh yeah, I'll be there.
He has been.
He might
before.
swing by and say hi, but the
Yeah.
last couple times, if he has come, it's always been a quick
Right.
drop in and then he leaves and.
Yeah.
Leaves whoever's doing the work here,
But-
but,
Kevin is one that worked on it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But if anyone can't be here and you have specific questions that you address that day, please let us know.
Mhm.
So that we can bring that forward.
Mhm.
and the one that's not on here that. I think you had sent me a couple weeks ago was, the, ARPA fund.
Oh, yes. Which that was another one that Trio had an interesting number as a carry forward. That was like 17,000, 15,000 off actually.
Mhm. And we need to spend that by
That's,
December
that's why I was,
31st.
that's why I was bringing it up.
Yeah. Like, so we need to,
I
Thank you.
have my laptop there for meetings. Do you have that?
Yep, getting to the right email, just gotta.
Okay.
Right there. That one, okay.
Some decent emails this week.
It was about 2 weeks ago. Maybe a little bit more.
I should remember to run off the top of my head.
19 is the most recent one, 7. ARPA funds, unaudited, 36,895.07.
Who was gonna reach out to Sandra?
Neocraft, not fine, yes,
That's close. It's fine.
36,895.07. So I will, I'll try to get an updated number from Neocraft on the, digital sign that we wanted to put out front under that sign, but I believe last time it was right around 20.
Yeah, I thought that was the figure that was brought up last time.
This.
And I believe, do you remember, did that include electrical out to it, or was electrical on us to get it out there?
I don't remember.
Okay,
It was on us.
Was that?
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Yes, from the building to the sign was us.
I was gonna say, I can go back into my notes and look, but I don't remember.
I might have, I can get back to my emails, I might have the initial quote, but I can just reach out to Neil Craft, see if they can rerun it and,
Yeah, and if they give us about the same price, then we have some leftover money for whatever the WG tech quotes us.
that's what you want me to look into, I can do that.
I would love to look into Zoom equipment for this room. Which totally qualifies under those funds.
Mhm.
Just want to press a button.
You did the hard work, we did the Zoom links for the next 3 years.
I tried. Oh, did you guys finally get them emailed? Did they finally email it to you?
Yeah, that's how I posted it today.
Oh, you posted it today and I saved it and I posted it the other day.
Is there anything else you wanna let us know, or?
For now, I wish I had more information.
Mhm.
Are there any questions?
Any questions, Patricia? When we have it?
No, we just need a general, like carryover from general government, if you could get that to us, like
What was that?
carryover from general government, if you could get that to
What
us.
the end of year balance was in general government for last year,
Okay,
and highway as well.
We don't ask for much.
Cause those are two that we're looking at rolling some money over and. One for the truck and one for book, preserving book two.
okay,
That's the initial thought anyways.
all right.
Awesome, thank you. Other business,
I have Mary Wainwright from Boondocks Farm dropped off her annual catering permit, and she needs signatures from the board on the green cab. She said, you guys usually don't have any questions. This is something she does every year.
Mhm.
The select board has to sign off before she can take it to the state to get her annual license, so. So we can pass that around to sign.
can I get a motion?
Make a motion to sign Boondock Farms catering license.
Second,
Have a motion and a second to sign the license renewal for Boondocks Catering. All those in favor? Opposed?
This is just an FYI, we received a letter, preliminary 2025 state evaluation. The official one will come a little later this year. That just came in the mail.
They're on mailboxes, right?
It is.
While you guys are looking at that, Aaron attended a Trio Web informational meeting today in Wilton. He didn't come away with a lot of information. He said it was mostly they were trying to do a lot of sales tactics. But they are looking to have all changeovers to Trio Web completed by the end of 2026. So it's still some time. We've heard good, bad, ugly. But it's inevitable, it's coming, so.
But I think one thing I have for a question on that, and it's more of a question for either Ron or Kevin, is once. Because we've had multiple comments from our HR in the last, well, for a bit now that there's issues with our Trio. I'm curious if. When we go to swap over to Trio Web, are those issues going to come forward, or is there a way that we can? Separate or lock that data so we don't have those continuing issues come forward in the Trio Web. I don't know.
Our trio or everybody's trio on the same thing?
On the same web?
I think it's our Trio,
How
but
can our trio be goofed up if others are not?
There can be software glitches.
Yeah.
Trio is very glitchy. But I'd like to hear from them what they feel those glitches are,
yeah,
so that we can narrow down. Maybe fixing it if we can. Is it just the way the numbers are rolling forward? Can we have that not upload and just plug a number into the web version? and just have an archive of our prior years, things like that. So I want to hear from them what they say those glitches are.
Yeah.
And make sure we have them.
Yeah, and I'd had the same thought of if there was a way just to key numbers in rather than transfer everything, because I don't know. There was a way to stop the issues, that'd be great, but
We
If
have
not-
heard on the listserv, some people love it, some people hate it. Yes, I think it's just like Trio now. Love the relationship, so. Carol asked me to get a quote from Condor in regards to 6 LED lights upstairs. So we can start working on that project of organizing, reorganizing. I believe that's $820. He went up and checked it out the other day. There is a lot of cleanup that needs to be done upstairs before we can get working. So that's something to keep in mind. As far as, I know Carol, you asked me for this, Dave told me today that he spoke to Vortex
Yes.
and they don't have copies of entry permits. They don't keep them. Once they fill them out and they go back to their office, they get rid of them.
Great.
But they have also not been here in over 2 years.
Yep.
So they're gonna start giving Dave copies of those.
you need to keep those all on file.
Can we get that? Do you have that in an email?
I know he called, Paul called.
Can you get it in
Yeah.
an email?
Yeah,
Ask him to send that in writing.
if you
Okay.
can call them and ask for that statement in writing.
Yep.
That would be great, because we're gonna have to provide that to DOL,
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
because they're requesting that we get them regardless of who writes them,
Yep.
so.
we received and we have paid it, because we didn't really have a choice. County treasurer sent out, that there was a clerical error. And our county tax was an additional $5,558.
I don't know why we're having, the mistake on their part shouldn't constitute an urgency on ours. They have to live with it.
Is that on last year's taxes or on this year's taxes?
I know what we voted to approve.
I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that was in the town meeting, what we just approved for budget numbers, or the year
I would have to
prior.
pull that
I
letter.
believe it
Because
was
it-
for what we just approved.
Okay, because if it was the year prior, then it's another deal, and we're gonna have to ask for
No,
more
I
money to
believe
pay
it
it,
was what we just approved.
Yeah.
okay, as long
Um,
as it's in this one, then it goes on this. Tax calculation that we'll do here
Mhm.
very shortly, so
Correct.
we'll be covered, but if it was on the other one, then we
Correct.
have problems.
do you want to move ahead and have Greg come in and do that work?
I'd say yes. For only 800, it doesn't need our approval, and it doesn't need,
Does it need a motion in a second? Okay,
I mean, we can, but it's under Paul. We don't even need more other quotes or anything for anything under like. So
I think don't we need a motion without that we're spending it?
we can if you want to, we don't have to,
I'd
we
rather
can.
just to be.
I'll make a
safe.
motion to spend $820 on lights. For
Second.
upstairs.
I have a motion and a second for the lighting and upgrade upstairs. All those in favor?
It's a dark pocket up there.
I think it would be worth asking him too, is if there's any efficiency made of money that could be reimbursed for that. Just because we're taking out old lights and switching
absolutely.
them out.
And then those of us who are taller than me won't hit their heads on the lights, because I can come right in and.
Yeah.
I don't have those problems.
No, yeah. Just an FYI, when we were talking about dates, I believe it's the 4th and 5th. Aaron will be in Bangor for, state voter training. It's a 2-day training. He'll be staying overnight up there. The following week, I'll be in Portland for the same training. That way we're not closing the office. And then I believe it's on the 18th. We will have to close the office for the Maine Town and City Clerks Annual Meeting and Training. So we'll be staying open on the 17th all day. So we're basically just flip-flopping those 2 days.
This is September.
How about,
September.
what was the date again?
Closing on the 18th,
18th,
staying
yeah.
open.
Staying open all day on the 17th, and we will post that and get that up on the Facebook page, just so people are aware. And anything else?
Yeah, I'd say if you could post, especially the 4th and 5th, like in the next couple days, that way.
Well, we're
That's
not
not
closing.
They're not closing.
No,
Aaron will be in
Oh,
Bangor,
that's right,
I'll be
that's just,
here.
yep, never
And then the
mind.
following week, I'll be in Portland and he'll be here. And the other thing I had was, and maybe Jason can answer this, is the bill for the Hartford fire coverage. Do we send them a physical bill or is it just in the contract and they know to send it?
I think we need to hold on that until you guys have your conversation that you were telling me about.
We already did. That
You
was
did?
all good, yeah.
Okay,
They reminded us all that, the contracts are up at the end of this year.
End of 25, yeah,
I would say go ahead and send him a bill.
okay. I just wasn't sure if it was one of those implied because you signed the contract or.
Yeah. I'd say we should send him a bill, that way we get our checks before. We have to wait, you know.
I think that's all I have. We've been steady. But getting things done.
Are we going back to E?
Going back to E. Yes, we need to go back to E. So we're gonna shift back up to old business E, excavator for public works. So Andy talked to me again when we took delivery of the truck the other day about the excavator. It is a big time need, and he's pushing pretty hard for it. I told him I wouldn't have the discussion again until we looked at our financials to see where exactly the reserve accounts were at. He did say you get a call from, Union Farm Equipment, the place that had the best price that he was looking at. And they are willing to do a lease to purchase, which is similar to what we had done back when we bought the loader. To try to take that cost and spread it over more than one fiscal year, so we didn't have to drain a reserve account or, any other purchase account for it. So now that we have our numbers, we can talk about that again.
did they give us a lease number? Like if it was a 3-year lease, what we'd be looking at for?
Has she got anything into you for numbers?
I've not heard of it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to reach out to him and get a number that I don't know. if Andy has them or,
I haven't heard that he does.
okay. Cause if you look at, highway equipment reserve at 156,000, approximately, 55 to 58 of that is already set aside for, the Western Star body. So, but I can reach out to, or I'll have one of the highway liaisons reach out to Andy and see about getting a lease quote.
Yeah.
Lease to purchase quote. Amy's concern is we're getting to the point now where we really need something
I know.
on site, because
yeah.
renting it is not working.
Well, especially with the storms we've had.
The problem is, a couple times when we go to try to rent something, or if we need something last minute, they're taken. And then the amount of time it takes to get something on site is taking more and more than what it has. So, I think it's something that we're gonna have to do one way or another, but, I'm a little uneasy taking that account down to less than 50,000.
I agree.
Especially with the price of repairs and stuff right now, it's not easy taking it down that far.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think I would prefer to try to do something on a lease purchase and spread it out over a couple of years.
Yeah.
I agree.
3 years per quarter.
3 years would be great.
Yeah.
And if not, if they won't do it, because I know some places won't do that, then we can reach out to Androscoggin and see what their term would be. Because I know the loader was done right through, Beauregard,
Yes.
but, some of the smaller places don't, so if they won't, we could do what we did with the Western Star
Oh, I'm
and do
sure
it
they
through
could.
Androscoggin if we have to.
I'm sure they've got financing.
Yep.
Outfits available that will do that.
Yep.
Oh,
Cool.
freaking great.
Thank you. That's getting a little stuffy in here.
What is the theory of buying an excavator versus back?
Ease of use ditching.
Quick speed.
Ditching with the backhoe takes significantly longer than what it does with an excavator. Cause you can only reach as far as you can reach and you gotta reset and then move it again.
The only question I have is if you loaded it down, you have no way to load the truck. There's the back.
You can load it with an excavator.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the question, what did you say?
He had asked if the loader goes down, what we would load the trucks with, and I said we would load it with the excavator.
With a mini excavator.
Mhm.
With a third, yeah, bucket.
We had to.
Yeah, more of a spade, yeah. I just disagree with that, totally, but a backhoe is more money than an excavator.
We'd also, I mean, we'd also talked about, in the past, we talked about trading the loader for a large excavator, excuse me, not large excavator, larger backhoe, and then having the smaller excavator on the side as well. Because at the end of the day, if you figure it out, money would be about the same if we traded the big loader, but
An excavator is kind of a luxury. For a small town. I would recommend buying an excavator at all, but that's just me.
the hard part is setting culverts with an excavator, you can do a lot quicker than you can with a backhoe. Because setting culverts with a backhoe has taken a lot longer for us in the past. But
I'm relying on you.
That's-
Years of
um,
doing this.
that's that back.
That's all
Before I
I've
lose
done.
it. That's that one back before I lose that one.
I need to ask that question.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep, yeah, I guess if we
Everything
can
on
have,
Table. I
if we
will
can
ask
have
him.
either something for a lease to purchase from them directly or lease to purchase through. The bank at our next meeting, and if Andy could be there too, to answer
Sure.
questions, that would be great.
So if they won't do one, you want me to reach out to Andrew?
Yes, yeah, then we can reach out to Andrew and, or either Tricia or Kathy or someone can reach out to Andrew, either way.
Yeah.
Just to see what they would have for options,
Mhm.
and we probably ought to check and see if that, since that quote's now a few months old, if that has changed or not.
Yeah.
There's
Will
no
do.
point, there's no point in doing all the back work on the financing if the quote's changed.
Where are you gonna get your trailer?
We've priced it through a couple different places. The cheapest price so far is from, Kaufman's South or North Carolina, I can't remember which. And they will deliver it. And even the price of the trailer with delivery is cheaper than he's found it anywhere around here so far.
And both of these guys have a license to haul that, right?
Yes, yeah. And the nice thing about the excavator size that he has, that we have the quote on, is the excavator and the quote, and yeah, and the quote, and the trailer will still be in the weight range of what the 550 can haul. So it can be hauled either with a pintle hitch, it can be hauled either on the 550 or on one of the larger trucks.
This is one of those before, during, and after.
All right, so if you can check on that stuff and bring that back to us,
I like them.
we can keep going if you want more.
No, I'm good. That's a public comment, so these people can.
All
Oh, I'm sorry, I like cut into other business when I said, did we forget?
It's all
No, we
good.
said we moved to public comments.
Oh, yeah.
Approval of the warrants. I'm going in order now. The next one's public comment, warrants are quick.
Okay, fine.
8-week AP warrant number 15, 103,748.99. Number 16, 514.63. Number 18, 3,082.38. Payroll warrants number 14, 5,180.81. Number 17, 62.59.05.
I make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on our warrants. All those in favor? Opposed?
I was up.
Public comment.
Sorry about waiting on my folks.
Do we have someone? Yeah.
So,
Chairman Keith, fellow members of the board, my name is Bob Cleaves. My company is called Dirigo Solar. We're based in Portland. And I reached out to Kathy last week about trying to get clarification concerning the town's recent ordinance that we passed with respect to solar.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you kind of why I'm here and what my particular interest is. Many decades ago, I represented International Paper in Jay, and my company's interested in contributing to the redevelopment of that mill site. And a portion of land that we hope to be part of a larger project is located in Canton on the other side of the Amber. And I read the ordinance, and I wasn't obviously involved in the development of the ordinance and didn't follow it terribly closely, but it's my understanding that projects between 1 and 5 megawatts or up to 30 acres are considered large-scale projects, and we already have one large-scale project. And so under the ordinance, there can be no more large-scale projects. So my question that I put to Kathy is, if a project is, say, 6 megawatts or 31 acres and is not a large-scale project, was it the intent of the town to prohibit those kinds of projects? And if it wasn't necessarily the intent of the town to do that, is there an opportunity to work with the town on a future tweak or amendment to the ordinance that would accommodate what I'll call somewhat of a unique project involving an interconnection in an adjacent town concerning economic redevelopment? So in other words, we're not building a project on a pristine farmland, for example. And so I appreciate being here tonight and just getting a sense from the select board about what the concerns or intent was in the ordinance. We're deeply respectful of towns that want to go one way or another on solar. I'm just trying to understand whether or not the efforts that we're undertaking with respect to this particular property that happens to be in Canton are kind of off limits as a result of what the town did.
So I'm a little confused. So you were saying you want one that's over 31 acres? Is that what?
Yeah, this particular parcel, it's probably 7 megawatts and it's probably 35 acres.
So that's beyond what our cap was.
Yes.
It falls outside the definition of
Correct.
large scale solar.
Right, which
Yep.
that was where we wanted our limit at, was the large scale. We didn't want.
Nothing larger than that.
Nothing larger.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, okay,
So where would this be? Over the Meadowview,
we're
behind the mill?
behind the mill, correct, right on the J Canton line.
So part of all
All the
the hill.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly,
Must be.
cell phone.
Okay.
And,
Huh.
I'm sorry.
How much of that would your entire project be in Canton, or would it be split between the
To be
two?
honest with you, very little of the overall project is likely to be in Canton. I can't speak to the folks that bought the Pixel mill.
Yeah.
We're obviously interested in working with them. There is the Central Maine Power has the Wiley substation, which you probably know.
Yep.
And that is gonna be significantly underutilized as a result of the
Right.
closure of the mill.
Right,
So there's an opportunity to use that full capacity. Most of the project will be in J. I mean, I'm gonna say like 90% of it will be in J. But it would be, I'm not gonna pretend to suggest that the project would not happen if none of it could be in Canton. It would enhance the project if we could use 30 acres that happens to be in Canton, right over the J line. That would help us. But if it can't happen, it can't happen. I'm trying to get a sense of, is there an opportunity to come back before the town at some point, seek an amendment with a kind of a unique set of circumstances? Or is the town spoken for all time and isn't interested in any further dialogue?
We still have the 3 median slots that are open, so if you wanted to scale it down to.
the portion in Canton being smaller.
Yeah.
Less than
that
1
would be-
megawatt.
Yes.
I mean, I will say as a company that's been in this business for 9 years, and we're probably the largest builder of solar projects in the state of Maine. we typically do what are called utility scale projects that are very economic for my ratepayers. And you probably know all this, but if you can indulge me, in 2019, the Maine legislature passed a community solar program. And that's why you saw all these solar projects come. The legislature has essentially ended that program. So as a practical matter, I don't see anything over, I mean, even if the town hadn't enacted an ordinance for projects over 1 megawatt, I think effectively there would be no opportunities. You're not gonna see a lot of developers knock on your door for those size projects anyway. The only opportunities left, we think, so I'm probably wrong. She probably knows something that I don't know. Yeah, no, I mean, so you're not gonna see large tracts of farmland be consumed with solar. I just don't see that happening. But I think what you will see in the future is the kind of projects that we hope to do in J, where we're taking some existing assets and repurposing them, because there's never gonna be a paper mill in J. And so if there's an opportunity to do something with solar, to take advantage of that industrial property. I mean, I've been in discussions with the town of Jay on this. I think Jay is really interested in this, but, you know, I mean, this paper mill largely does not exist in Canton, so I realize this isn't your challenge, it's Jay's.
Yeah, like I said, so the current ordinance states we couldn't have anything that large. I think there was a fairly overwhelming.
It was just voted on at our.
I wasn't in person at the meeting, so I didn't see the actual.
It was.
Yeah, June, it was
outcome,
quite
but it was-
overwhelming, that was the biggest we wanted, is what we have.
I mean, there's always an opportunity for an ordinance to be amended, as with any ordinance. I do know, having been part of a lot of the, meetings that with the development of the solar, ordinance and then the voting on it in the town meeting, it was a very overwhelming vote for the ordinance that they didn't want any larger projects than the one that we already had.
So can you shrink?
Well, I could, I'm not sure it would be hard.
Yeah.
Worth the effort, but I really appreciate this, this feedback, and, you know, I don't, is it gonna make or break the project? Probably not. But this is very informative, and Kathy, thank you for getting back to me so quickly, and, it's always nice to come to Western Maine. All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And good luck with your moving ahead.
I love Canton. All right.
Thank you.
Other public comment.
You're up.
Okay, if anyone else had anything, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Great, well, my name is Claire, some of you might remember me. I work at the Center for Ecology-Based Economy in Norway, also go by CV. I came to you a really long time ago at this point, to offer technical assistance with enrolling in the Community Resilience Partnership. It's been a long road since then, but we did get our funding and wanted to reconnect and see if we could help you guys out and get you started. So I do have a little overview document here.
That's all right, we can pass it.
Thank you.
Would it be helpful to give a refresher of the grade?
Sure.
So this is a state of Maine grant and technical assistance program offered to towns, help communities become more resilient to the changes we're seeing, with our weather, as well as becoming more efficient, reducing energy usage and costs. And, we've worked with a number of towns at this point. It'll be our 16th who we've supported. And we've seen a lot of success with this program. Communities who enroll are eligible for grants of up to $50,000 for a long list of projects, some of which have come up in the discussion tonight. LED,
Yeah.
lights and other efficiency upgrades like that would be eligible. solar on a much smaller scale than that, if you're interested on doing rooftop solar to support your energy use. Things like that are covered through this program. And as a reminder, this assistance we're offering is free to the towns because we're using that grant funding from the state. And so there's a few next steps that need to happen. It's a little different than your typical grant program. We can't just come up with a project and write the grant together. There's a few really short self-assessments that need to be completed. And have examples of those here.
You can use our table if you want to put some stuff on the table. As opposed to, making a lap table.
Yes, you can pull your chair up
Oh,
and use the
yeah.
table.
Definitely.
I have examples of the assessments here, just around, they're quite short, but really what we've seen work best with towns. We have taken different approaches. In some cases, we'll set up an additional meeting with any select board. If there's a particular representative who'd like to go through it. We've met with town staff before, we can do that, or if you all wanted to take a look at these on your own time, and then we could come back and discuss together, different options there. I just wanted to show you those, and then there's also this public engagement piece. So we typically do 2 community meetings in each town to discuss, what the town would like to see, what sort of priorities people have when it comes to these projects. And we'll discuss the results of the assessments at those meetings. So the really big thing that I wanted to accomplish tonight is, one, reconnect with all of you, see your lovely faces, reintroduce myself in the program, and then hopefully come up with some next steps for, we don't necessarily need to set dates for the engagement meetings tonight. I know that can be difficult to do, but I wanted to see if we could start the conversation around that, and then discuss what direction you would like to go with completing the assessments and continuing to work together.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, sorry, Diane, didn't see your hand up. Yeah.
I know my arm gets so tired back here with my hand up. I'd love to get a copy of that document in the planning board box. We have re-engaged with the comprehensive plan data. And I think this would tie in really nicely to whatever the comp plan is going to turn out to be, but it'd be useful to probably look at this at the same time as we're wrapping up the first draft of the comp plan.
You can make copies and put it in the box.
I would also be happy to attend a comp plan committee meeting if you're all still meeting regularly. Would be happy to join you if that would be helpful.
I think if you put all your contact info on that sheet, that'd be great.
I believe it should be on there at the bottom
Yep.
of the second page.
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the handout.
Yes.
I'll make copies and put it in a box.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things in there we could look at doing, and I think one big thing, like we talked earlier today about lighting, and I think. Most of our buildings are older and would be great, to look at doing some energy efficiency
Mhm.
audits to see where we're at, knowing that there's a couple of them that probably need some more insulation work done and things like that, so.
Indoors.
And some doors that need to be replaced, yes, yeah. Yeah, I think it would be great to see what we could do through a grant process
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, we've seen that as a really common one for towns. We just wrap
Sean
them
wants
in.
an electric suit truck to the sewer town. He did send the thing out, the state's trying to give out charging
Yeah, he
stations.
did, didn't he? Yeah, that's right.
Didn't you just do Hartford? Didn't you just do a grant for Hartford where you put solar on the roof
And
and
heat pumps.
heat pumps, yeah.
Because we had talked about, when we did this originally, we talked about heat pumps at the fire station.
Mm-hmm.
Because having to keep that at a certain temp, so the pumps don't lose.
And looking to see the difference between the radiant floors and the
Yeah.
heat pumps would be
Yeah.
interesting.
I just had this conversation about radiant floors versus heat pumps.
So what do you need from us?
Yeah,
going
I
forward?
guess that's where I'm.
Yeah,
curious, like,
well, I guess my question for you all is, would now be a good time to set some dates for public engagement meetings? I can say a little bit more about that. CD takes the lead there. Obviously, we'll appreciate your coordination with promoting it and putting it out there and showing that's an official town event, but we'll take the lead with planning and facilitating that. So we really just need a date that works for you all. I also am not sure if there's other meeting spaces in the town. I don't know if you have a library, that would be good. I mean, we're happy to do it in here, but oftentimes like to find spaces that everyone's comfortable being in. This is it.
Usually this would be it. We do have a space at the fire department that we use for smaller meetings, but
Great.
Mhm.
So plan on
So
here.
step one is public engagement.
It's concurrent with filling out the assessments, so if towns can do that first, we like to discuss those at the meetings. Sometimes it happens by the second meeting, it happened by the first,
Mhm.
that's great, but.
so maybe if we have
We can
to
do both.
fill out, if you want the assessment before, maybe we should look at sometime in October.
Yeah,
That way that gives us some time to,
to fill out the assessment.
knowing that we already have a few nights booked in September.
Yeah, I was thinking that, I'm like, September's feeling a little dodgy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push that.
Yep. Yeah, I think probably looking at, October would be better. How long do those meetings usually run?
We usually go 1.5 hours for those.
Okay,
Is it a lecture type situation or a discussion?
No,
type
definitely,
situation?
we try and make it as interactive as possible. We'll share some information and context just to catch everyone up to speed on what the program is, but it's really, we like it to be community driven. We'll do breakout groups if enough people show up and discuss the different options, so.
how about October 15th?
That works for me.
I just picked a random date.
Columbus
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The night before,
Excuse me.
Like 6 o'clock,
That's
that usually gets everybody out of work. Sorry. Maybe.
The 15th at 6? Sounds great. October
Amazing.
15th at 6.
Fantastic. You're the easiest town so far.
With CB. CEBE.
Yep. Perfect. We have it on the calendar.
Fantastic. Would we want to throw out a date for the second one while we're at it? Usually we do them 2 weeks apart or more, just to give time to promote the second
I do a
one.
month apart.
She's feeling.
I'm starting to get nervous now.
It's getting way too.
This is a lot of meetings.
You wouldn't all have to be there, just saying. Appreciate it.
November.
November 12th.
That's
I
going to
can't
wait.
that night, I have a meeting that night.
It's a month.
November 6th?
November 6th.
November, you said?
Yeah.
I could do, the only reason I was staying away from the last week in October is with Halloween, we're still
Yeah.
kicking around the idea of if we do something for a haunted walk or not, and if we do. Those nights will be pretty well
Yeah.
booked, getting ready for it, so,
Mhm. I'm yay haunted walk.
okay.
What'd you say?
I have a trial, I'm gonna be out of town for most of the second half of October and
Okay.
most of November.
I mean, I can do the 6th. We don't all need to be there.
Where were you on the sixth, Sean?
Years already now.
We're tentatively for November sixth, how's that?
That sounds great.
Are we okay to stream those meetings?
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
if we can stream, she said we can stream those meetings, so we can put them on our YouTube channel, so if we
Yep.
can't be here.
Yep.
We'll be able to watch and.
Yeah.
Do not snap.
All right,
If you have something that you can send me that we will share on our Facebook.
Absolutely, yep, I'll share all the language and photos and all of that.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have to do these assessments in the meantime. We got homework.
yep, we have homework to look through and then
Yeah.
figure out how we wanna start filling them out.
Well, we're already starting school.
Well, fantastic, that's all I have, I'll be in touch with information about the meeting.
Yeah.
I'll just keep in touch with you all, see where you are on the assessment, do we want to plan on me coming back to another select board meeting in September?
We could fill it out and
I
scan
say,
it in to you, is that possible?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Just save you this, right?
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So is you haven't, is there an email?
It's-
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep, it's on there. Great,
Thank
thank
you.
you for coming in and
Yeah,
we'll see what we can come up with.
I bet we can talk about a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
I bet we can. So,
fantastic, well, be in touch and.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else for public comment? Anybody except Robin? Okay, I guess you can now.
Where are we at, the marijuana renewal application?
We need to get that back on our agenda.
That email went out a couple weeks ago with the changes, I just wondered, you know.
Mhm.
What's happening there?
So we don't have that on our agenda tonight, so we will add it to our next agenda.
In his is full freeze.
Can you add that to the next agenda, Kathy?
Marijuana renewal.
Can you add that to our next agenda?
Yep.
Yep, if you add it to the next one, we will take it up and go from there. Anything else? That I forgot?
Committee
We talked
reports
about
is
cleanup.
next. Why are you pointing at me?
She's been yapping.
All right.
So she's gonna do something.
So if there's no other public comment, we'll move on to committee reports.
Okay.
Who wants to talk?
I will, because I like it. So Monday, the cemetery ladies hosted Jonathan Appel from Atlas Preservation, which is, that's where we ordered all of our supplies. And he did stone resetting, repairing, and cleaning demos. We had about 20 people there. There was a couple from New Brunswick, Canada that came out really well for it. We had people from Mattawamke, Orono, Madawaska,
Bailey
Yeah.
Island, Wars Island, Stratton, yeah.
Brunswick, Wyndham,
Oh,
Oxford.
Hartford,
Yeah,
the Hartford cows.
so it was very well attended. And I think everyone walked away learning something. We learned some new techniques, so. It was good. Yeah,
Nice.
but unfortunately, we had people from New Brunswick, Canada, and nobody from Canton. Just saying.
Oh,
You
you
there,
guys
you
were
know?
there. You were the Canton reps.
Yeah, well, it was on a Monday. During the day.
Sure.
You have a point, we have an ordinance that says you can't be in the cemetery at dark.
I wanted to attend, but I had to work.
But yes, that was good, and the Public Works guys got done chipping around the ball field, they cut down some of the bigger trees and chipped all that stuff, and Andy figures it's gonna save the rec department money by all the foul balls they found. So-
Perfect.
By all the what?
Foul balls,
Foul
foul balls. Easy for me to say, big bear.
Foul balls they found, gotcha.
Well, if you figure the last 2 years, we've had some pretty decent sized tournaments there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
not only with our normal games,
Right.
but then the tournaments that we've had, I'm sure there's been.
That's
plenty.
been a wish list item for 5 or 6 years to get that cleaned out, so.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Nope, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed today when I drove by, you could see they got
Yeah.
a bunch, so.
Nice.
Should make it a lot nicer.
And we do have to have them bring some loam over the hillside, because there's a couple bare banks that are,
I think all the cemeteries need loan.
I agree.
a lot of sinks.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
sinks.
There's definitely some down in Meadowview that need to be filled.
Oh,
On road, yeah,
Pine Grove's got a lot more than it used to.
because I don't wanna meet anybody.
I want to meet.
And there was.
Flowing.
It's flowing, yep, yep. Everything's good there. So,
Good. So,
Okay, so, I'm gonna start with rec. Soccer is, teams have been made, practices, schedules have been set, so soccer is getting underway. I believe practices start in the next 2 weeks, if not next week, the week after. But there's coaches for all age groups.
nice.
And Danielle's doing a great job with that.
any idea rough number?
I know there are a lot of
Nah, if you don't. it's okay.
kindergarten
I'm curious.
kids. There's a lot of K-1 kids where if there's another coach, they can split that into 2 teams.
Good.
But the rest of the teams, had about at least 7 to 8 players. At least, and we didn't have a 4 or 5 coach, but Jeremy and Danielle are gonna be coaching 4 or 5. To keep that age group from playing, to keep that age group playing, so that's all set, so that's that. Planning board, I did go to the last planning board meeting and I'm gonna do this with rec too. Just in my quest to get all town meetings on Zoom and streaming. And following the same process just to, the planning board. I'm gonna, Kathy, have the planning board pass in their agendas like before their meetings like we do. To be posted on Facebook and I gotta set up a Zoom link for them. I haven't done that yet. So just to kind of get everybody in the same process so that all public meetings are being on Zoom. People can't join in person. They have the option to join remote or watch it on the YouTube streaming channel. So I'm gonna put that information on here too.
Okay, we're gonna,
For you
we
to,
usually post on Tuesdays, so have it in by Monday.
She just sent an email during the meeting of our agenda
okay.
to us.
Oh, Diane,
Yeah, we're having an extra meeting this month. We're meeting next week as
That's
well.
right.
So that agenda already went to Kathy for posting next week. Do you might to give us a lesson on how to hook up the owl?
Yeah.
And how to use the
Yeah.
laptop for Zooming?
Yeah, and I just realized I had to re-sign it since everything was just updated on this laptop, I had to re-sign into everything. So if I can, leave that YouTube information to the planning board, just so that if you guys get logged out of that, you can live stream, because it's a pretty simple, and I'll show you guys pressing the button to live stream from Zoom.
Sure. Are you gonna come to this coming Thursday's meeting to set us up?
It's coming Thursday. Yeah, I'll try to be here, Diane.
The 20
I'll be here, even if I'm just here in the beginning. I'll
Okay,
figure
that'd be
it
great.
out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Michelle, just in case our email is not back up and running. Will you be able to post that if we need it?
Yes,
Okay. Why is it not up?
yes,
What?
as long as yeah, because I'll do the same thing I did with the selectmen's
Okay.
meeting links.
That's all I can tell you.
Okay, I'm just playing devil's advocate with the email.
Yeah,
Can I just say something else? I sent a note for Kathy whenever she gets back to her desk that I don't know if she knows where the previous clerk filed all of the planning board meeting minutes. But if
she's,
I'm pretty sure there's a book.
There is.
There's a book in the vault, I believe.
So I sent them digitally to her, but I know we had a gap, so if we could find out when the last ones were that she has, I can fill in all the gaps and make them current for her.
All right, Brian says there's a book, Kathy doesn't know where they are, so we'll figure it out.
Okey doke, thanks.
Welcome. So when we pull a rec meeting together, I'll have the same conversation with rec.
Yeah, I figure we'll wait until after the 9th, that way we
Yeah,
can try to get some finance updates from
Yeah.
RHR and then do it all at the same time rather than having multiple meetings for the same thing.
yep, agreed, agreed. And, as far as events go, I would love to partner with Parks and Trails to do a Halloween walk.
Yep, and I think we need to talk with Parks and Trails about if they're interested in doing the Halloween walk this year or not.
Because the events committee wants to do it.
I don't know, we have zombie right there.
Since there's only ever been one member of the Park and Trails Committee that's ever done it.
Sure.
Participated, I mean.
Two.
Oh, no, you have to,
Two.
yes.
Well, 3 technically, because I was a member, so,
You want that?
and I'm a good scarer.
No, I'm saying up there.
Some people you just can't take out anywhere.
I would love to help out again.
I will be coming back on the 14th of October,
Mhm.
because I'll be gone for a few weeks, because it's my time of the year. Go
Mhm.
away.
Are we doing trunk or treat?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, heck yeah.
yes,
So I think if we wanna chat about it and see what we can look at for dates and.
yep.
After you do.
And I would love to invite Dirigo Drama Club again.
Yes, they were
Yep.
very, and
I think we kinda have to, cause that's
yeah, that's.
how we fill.
Well,
all
I
the way
mean,
around, and-
They are awesome.
The kids enjoy it way
Yes.
more
Yeah.
than anybody.
Yeah.
And the high school kids, I guess I should say.
Mhm.
The little kids, not so much.
The high school. It was so much fun watching the high school kids chase several adults out of off the trail screaming.
No,
It was
they
wonderful.
Brian.
Oh, no, I was,
No, Sarah Frank came out of those woods
Yeah.
just screeching.
And Brian scared the living crap out of one adult and them.
With his chainsaw.
No.
No, I'll never do that again, that
was
wasn't worth it.
With the light underneath your face. And then-
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you come out.
No, you
I
shut behind
love,
the
I
tree and
love
jump out,
watching
and
the
they all turn
darker it
anyway,
gets, the more,
Mhm.
scared people come running out of there. It's
Yes.
just awesome.
So do we look at doing 2 separate nights, or do we try to combine and do like we did before with the
I'd
trunk
say
or treat
combine.
at?
Because I don't know that the high school kids could commit. You
No,
know.
no.
No,
talking-
No,
I mean trunk or treat and the haunted walk. Do we try to do like we did a couple years ago and combine them, or do we try to split it? To me, I think it was difficult to have the trunk or treat down
Yes.
by the park, or by the
Well,
trail, I mean,
Dark.
Yeah, we didn't get the attendance
no,
on either one of them up for that night at all, like we have when you separated them.
right. Okay,
Because people would rather park at the boat launch and they wouldn't go to the field.
yeah,
And I'm wondering if we could do it like it being a weekend, the walk one night and trunk or treat the next night. Or a week apart, who knows, I mean.
yeah,
as
we
get
can
closer.
start looking at some dates, and we got plenty of time, but we can, just to start the conversation and. Kind of get people thinking.
I know we do some Halloween stuff.
So,
Anything else?
I think that's it for my committees. Jason already talked about fire department and stuff, and yeah, I think I covered them all.
Christine,
I don't have anything else.
Motion to adjourn.
Kathy, do you have anything on in the office you want to update?
Already did that under other business, so.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Out at 8:10.